Here's the thing with bass pedals. You don't need them. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about bass pedals. Now this video is 100% my opinion on bass pedals you need, bass pedals you don't need, and how to stop being fixated on bass pedals and building the perfect rig and achieving the perfect tone and actually get started playing bass. Now the choice of bass pedals out there, it's pretty overwhelming. There's millions of them. There's millions of bass pedals, multi-effects pedals, even bass amps with effects built in. Some notable mentions of multi-effects bass pedals: there's the Boss ME90B, which is really awesome, and Darkglass's new multi-effects pedal, which looks awesome, the Anagram. Definitely worth checking out those two if you're into bass multi-effects pedals. But with all these bass pedals and multi-effects pedals and bass amps with effects built in, etc., you spend more time acquiring all these pedals and spending all this money on all this gear and trying to put together, a huge pedal board and, trying to work out which pedal goes where and which pedal sounds good, which one should I get rid of, You spend more time doing that than actually playing bass, and that's not good. That's not good at all. Here's the thing with bass pedals. You don't need them to start off when you're building your rig. Pedals should be the absolute last thing you think about when putting your bass rig together. I'll show you how I put my bass rig together, and you can make your own mind up. So I start off with the bass itself. This is my bass. It's a Cort GB Modern 5 with an active 3-band EQ. And what I do is I plug the bass directly into the amp. No pedals, just directly into the amp. Then from there, I listen to the tone with the EQ on the amp set flat and the EQ on the bass set flat, if you have an active bass. In my opinion, that sounds pretty good already, but it's not quite the tone I'm after. It sounds pretty MIDI, so I'm going to take the mids out a little bit, or turn the mids down a little bit rather, and boost the treble. That sounds much better, and that is the tone I'm happy with. So now I ask myself the question, do I need any pedals? Yes, no, maybe. Well, to help me make up my mind, I limit myself to 3 pedals. That's it, 3 pedals, no more, no less. I'll show you my pedal board. So this is my pedal board here. I use this for recording and playing live, and it's more than enough for what I need. So starting off with the pedals I knew I absolutely needed: a tuner pedal and a clean boost pedal. The tuner pedal, we all know what that is and what that does, so I don't need to go any further. And a clean boost pedal, I use this for soloing. Sometimes when you play bass solos, you can get lost in the mix, so it's just good to have a bit of extra volume just to bring you more towards the front of the mix and so more people can hear you. So that's 2 out of 3 pedals. What's the last pedal going to be? I decided to go for an overdrive pedal. There are some songs in the sets I play that require an overdrive pedal, and you wouldn't believe how much an overdrive pedal comes in handy when you need one. So that's what I got for my 3rd pedal. Just in case you want to know which bass pedals I'm using, for my tuner pedal, I'm using a TC Electronic Polytune 3. For my overdrive, I'm using a Fender Bassman Driver, which in my opinion is the greatest sounding bass overdrive pedal money can buy. And for my clean boost, I'm using an MXR micro amp. Super simple pedal board, and I love that because it means I don't have to waste time clicking pedals on and off and accidentally stomping on the wrong pedal and all that comes with huge pedal boards, and can actually focus on playing bass. So now that I've shown you guys my pedal board, which contains only a tuner, overdrive and clean boost, there's going to be some of you out there that are going to say, why don't you have a compressor pedal? Well, because I like playing with dynamics and compressors take your dynamics away. Why don't you have some cool pedals like an envelope filter or a wah pedal or a chorus pedal? Well, yeah, those pedals sound great, but those pedals just layer effects on top of your original bass tone, and I like my original bass tone. I don't want to apply more icing to the cake, if you know what I mean. Yeah, okay, fair enough, but why don't you own a preamp pedal? Okay, here's the deal. I used to own a preamp pedal. I used to own a SansAmp Bass Driver DI pedal, which I absolutely loved. I was able to get fantastic tones from it, and I used it all the time for recording and gigs. But when I discovered I could achieve the tone I want just from my amp alone, I didn't need the preamp pedal anymore, so that means I was able to get rid of it and reduce the amount of pedals I own, which is exactly what I want to achieve. Yeah, okay, I suppose, but why don't you have an octave pedal or a pitch shifter? Well, for me personally, I much prefer to produce my own octaves and intervals on the bass. And although there's some fantastic octave and pitch shifting pedals out there, the octaves and intervals that those pedals apply to your original bass tone are artificial, and I don't like artificial. I much prefer to produce my own octaves and intervals myself on the bass. Here's how I produce my own octaves. Here's how I produce my own major thirds. Here's how I produce my own fourths. Here's how I produce my own fifths. Now here's what's going to happen with this video. Some of you are going to agree. Some of you are going to disagree. Some of you are going to love this. Some of you are going to hate this. This video will help some people. This video will make some people very angry. Whatever happens, let me know in the comments. Cheers for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.